Basically.
Doc Williams Podcast.
Good times, good times.
Doc Williams Podcast.
Well, basically.
Doc Williams Podcast.
Good times, good times.
All right, how are we going to start this?
I guess like this.
All right, good time. So, what is this session about? Why are we doing this?
So we are looking at a couple of things that are trending that have potential for a business or a build.
Okay, so we looked at trends.co, who we do a monthly build session, building your business, and this new venture, this new experiment was about looking at what Trends is putting out. And I know myself, when I look at this newsletter, I sometimes get overwhelmed. I see so many different opportunities, and I read, all of these different stories, and I think I can do all of them, and then I end up doing none of them. So what I was seeing was this was very common in the Trends community as well in the Facebook group, and I was like, you know what? Let me just start building a business or building out the first couple of steps of a business based on the trends. And also, too, some of you know this, some don't. I have pretty severe dyslexia, and I have a hard time reading a lot at the same time or being confused. So I brought in my co-star on this podcast, my wife.
Hello.
Who has her own successful podcast, does her own thing with her blog, and she just reads a lot. She reads all the time.
This is true.
And you read very quickly. So I said, you know what? I want to do this project, but I need you to go into Trends. You find what's interesting, and then I'm going to come back and just build businesses. And then as we were just having this conversation, you gave me two ideas, and I was like, yeah, I can build this business. And then we're like, yeah, let's just record this. So we have the audio, and then I'm going to go record and build in one take the two businesses you suggested. So, yeah, that's going to be the format for a little bit. You tell us what you think. And so tell me what you found.
Okay, so the first one that I thought was interesting is from this article talking about some of the big things that are going on in Japan right now. Lessons from Japan and 5 trends. One of the big trends right now is the Party for One culture, which basically is for, there's a large demographic in Japan of people that are single and that live by themselves, and according to this survey in the Japan Times, 58% of single working people just stay home by themselves when they're not working, and 22% of them just go out alone. So right now there's a big trend towards doing things by yourself. There's like the single karaoke bar sort of thing. There's a bar where you're only allowed to come in by yourself. There's single cinemas, all sorts of things like that. The capsule hotels are a big thing right now too. But even, dining out, like you eat in a place where you're separated by a partition, so you're still introverted and by yourself. And then to that end, then we have single person products for single person households. So a tempura pot for one, or a rice cooker for one, or a dishwasher for one, little tiny things. And I actually have some pictures of them. They're very cute.
All right, that's very cool. So just hearing about this, I have two different ideas, and then we'll go on. The first one is, if I personally, at this point, I wouldn't really, okay, well, I'll put it this way. If I was in real estate or I've already done a brick and mortar business and I want to maximize on space, I would change it into Party of One kind of places. Now, everything with COVID, I wouldn't recommend it right now. But
I would say, like, do you think that actually might kind of be a thing? People that were encouraged to stay home, but if you do go out, you're just by yourself and not in a large group.
See, so that goes in the second part. I could see that too, as long as, yes. So cleaning, blah, 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 making sure, yes. So if I'm trying to start a business like instantly this afternoon, I think this would be more work. Mm-hmm. But if I'm already a brick and mortar business owner and I'm trying to figure out how to have a specific niche of what's going on, and I'm discouraging large crowds, and I've already got space, and I'm trying to maximize and see how I would pivot, yes, I would.
One person at a time, that you could do that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now what are you? So that's brick and mortar. What do you think for something else like productizing this? Or?
So productizing this, I think this would be good. Number one, you could do something with drop shipping. I'm sure you'll have links of different products. But for me to get traction, if I was trying to maximize on this, I would probably go with influencers that are minimalist anyway, or ones that have that audience, and then talk about different like single serving items for their apartments and things like that. Because what I've seen in COVID with just Shopify stores and e-commerce and everything like that, it's booming.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going really high. So being able to have ones that can already have the audience and just showing off what you can be doing, or really making your lifestyle at home better, and it's single serving, it takes up less space, I would go that route.
Yeah, and this isn't just Japan that we're talking about either, because there's actually they're 7th in the list of countries that make up the most single person households, and the U.S. has gone up to 28% in the last few years. 28% of all households.
Yeah, and I like that. And too, like, well, people don't know this, but I watch a lot, not a little bit, of League of Legends, and I like to not just watch, but I like hearing the personalities, and I like hearing about the broadcasters and things like that. And they're all living in LA, and they talk about just being by themselves in their space because they can't go out. And so I think there's a huge opportunity to make your home. I feel like the home is being redone right now because you're spending so much more time
Working and...
Yeah. And you've got to make it multifaceted to make yourself feel better and more comfortable in your space. And so I think a lot of people are reinvesting in what they have versus trying to get a new place, trying to expand. It's just streamlining their life. So I see it as a big opportunity for that.
Yeah, definitely.
So as a recap, in trends number 1 for this episode is, I don't know what we're going to call this show, but whatever. So this section for the first trend that we went over was Party of One for brick and mortar, and we call it, for the Build With Me show, Brick and Pivot. So for brick and pivot, I would suggest, if you're already, for ones that have an area, you're thinking about how to maximize holding on to the space, still doing something, well, change, possibly either take a section of your restaurant, take a section of your business, change it to single serving for ones that can either have lunch, dinner, or some kind of activity as one person in the restaurant, and start promoting it that way. So that's the first one.
No, I will say too, I think that's going to be a cultural difference too, because people that live in Japan by themselves, when they go out, a lot of them just go out by themselves too. And I feel like here in our society, for a large part of it is, if you live by yourself, you're going out to be around other people.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the divide could come in.
That's possible. I like it.
But I think there's still potential there.
Test it out, see what happens. The thing that I would be more excited about is probably drop shipping or doing some kind of product that serves ones that are single serving, right? The reason I do this is it's a lower overhead cost. And if I'm doing drop shipping, especially drop shipping, I don't have to worry about a warehouse to keep. If I order 1,500 of these, it's just, if they order it, I take a certain percentage, whatever. The reason I would go with either get involved in a subreddit group or a private group where I can talk to them is because now I can be the authority or help people. To fast track that, I would look for influencers to talk about it. And you could always go with popular influencers, but I'm always like, what's the closest way to get there? And I would think ones that already have an audience with minimalists, or ones that are dealing with decor or something like that, and see if they're really on it talking about COVID and pivoting. I would definitely start talking to influencers and go that route.
All right, very nice. So that's the Party for One idea. So, second idea, we're going to cover that here?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you want to do that or other episode?
No, we can cover that here.
All right.
They're brief.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the other one that I had was also from a trends article about basically mini marketplaces, essentially, and how there is a subreddit. Well, two subreddits that they mention with over 700,000 members. There's build a PC sales, and then there's game deals, and it's basically covering where you can buy certain things for building a PC, like monitors and processors and things like that. And then game deals is buying game equipment and game parts and games, but it's highlighting more buying them on a coupon or things like that. And there's tons of traction there. But the interesting part that the article brings out is that there are not a whole lot of results if you Google gaming deals newsletter. So there really are a few, but not on that front page. Not very much availability as far as like you getting the deals sent to you in your inbox. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, with that one, I mean, you're on trends. You've heard about thehustle.co, right? Because of a newsletter. I think newsletter, it's high profitability. It's really easy to manage, and you see so many different niche communities being able to do this. So I definitely think that's a huge opportunity. Keep talking. I'm going to get my notes because I have another idea that I just thought about.
Yeah, and I think that there's going to be a really effective way to translate that if you're gathering that information from multiple sources and then delivering it to people.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't even have to be like from like game deals on Amazon. You can get it from
Yeah, I mean,
lots and lots of different marketplaces.
and even if you get different ideas, you can have Airtable or Google Sheets categorize all those things, then you just pick it. If you're looking at No Code Coffee, I mean, he had a whole tutorial. Michael Gill talks about how to do that. The only thing is, just as a disclaimer, in one of the Build With Me episodes, I tried to do it shot by shot of what he teaches you how to do. The YouTube video that he releases, how to create a curated newsletter by picking links or what you're reading, there's limitations because it doesn't tell you a step-by-step. It's a summary. So there's going to be a video that I'm going to release to show you a step-by-step how to do it. And there's actually another one, but
is this something you could build in Google Sheets?
Yeah, you could do it in Google Sheets and not having a problem. So actually what you were talking about that, so curated email or curated newsletters, that was an idea that you just had. I wrote down from the night before, how many curated newsletters are there of the best crime podcast or crime like anything? Have you ever seen a curated newsletter about that?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, it probably exists somewhere.
Well, you would think that, but then again, you have that with the gaming. You have this huge subgroup. You can check it real quick. But I was thinking about a curated newsletter about crime. And then also, too, curated newsletter about specific type of Barbies that are collectibles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So do you see anything with crime?
No, it's just lists per year, but you don't actually...
I'm telling you, newsletters with very niche audiences. You see what I'm saying? So that's just an idea. So this is the podcast portion of, you can just hear me and Sabrina talking about
kicking around ideas.
And then the companion of this is actually, I'm going to take the two trends that Sabrina suggests, and then I'm going to, in one shot, just build out how to do it in a live video and have that for the trends community.
Yeah.
So there you go. Any other last words for the first episode?
No. Let's go build it.
All right.